Hello, everyone. It's Annette Compo. I today have the great pleasure of actually sitting and chatting with Naomi Dunsen-White from Naomi's Books. Welcome.
Thank you, Annette.
So, of course, we met through a networking event at our local chamber, and I was fascinated with your story. So tell us a little bit about how you became and started this journey.
Well, I think I started when I was a little kid with being an early reader, loving to write, and thinking that I could rewrite some of those stories and make them better. So I think I started back then.
Love that.
Yeah.
I used to tell my son when he was little, readers are leaders.
That's right.
And then the other thing I would say, books are better than girls.
I've known that one.
So, well, that's exciting. So tell me a little bit about Naomi Books and how it became to fruition.
Sure. Back in 2020, I published my first children's book. I had written it several years ago. I actually wrote it as a birthday present for my grandson.
Oh my gosh.
And it grew from there because my son and my daughter-in-law they were saying to me, Mom, this is really, you need to do something. I mean, we appreciate it for the kid, but you need to do something with it. And as my family grew, I started writing the other children into the story. And during COVID, when everybody was looking at life, like, was there going to be life? What's going to happen? It was a life changer as far as your dreams and your aspirations. And it was kind of like a go time, for many people. And my husband encouraged me, I don't know what you're waiting for. You need to go ahead and publish the book. So I set out on this self-publishing journey, didn't know anything.
Those are always the best journeys.
Yeah. And
you have stories afterwards to tell.
Afterwards, so many. And I use those stories to help my clients today. So it all came full circle. And it's a beautiful learning lesson for me, but I'm able to help and bless other people. And I love that part. Yeah.
Well, telling your story, and obviously you're a mom and a wife and a grandmother, it sounds like, which is amazing. I haven't had that pleasure yet. I'm waiting, obviously, patiently. It all comes in due time. But it was interesting. Some of the things that you talked about, which is really critical, is that, being a mom, you're raising your kids, right? And so you're giving them technically programming, right, of how you would like them to be as humans. I think we share a lot of that with the affirmations and how we treat our children, because how they show up is exactly how they were raised. So the fact that they were supporting you when you literally just sincerely wrote this book as a gift, they're like, wait a second, Mom has major talent.
That's really nice.
And we want to encourage and edify her. And they felt in that safe area that they could literally tell you that. So kudos for being such a great mom and a great grandmother. And then, of course, having that supportive relationship, that environment at home, that partnership that you have with your husband. I felt that. I can hear it in your voice when you tell the stories, because he said, let's do this. You can do this. He's supportive and encouraging. And I think that people forget that a lot of times in situations that are tough, for instance, like COVID, people not always show up as the best version of themselves, right? And we all kind of morph through that together, privately, but together. And it's so interesting to find that this is really, truly a gift to our world, which is you and your talent that came out of what we consider probably one of the most scariest times of our lives.
Absolutely.
So I'm so blessed, to not only meet you, but to hear your story and your family's support for you.
Thank you.
So let me ask you, what is it like being an Amazon bestseller?
It's pretty cool.
Which I'm not like saying it.
Yeah, and I don't think I even say it very much, but when other people say it, I'm like, yeah, that's right. I did that.
Deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked it up what it meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course I shared with you, I've wrote a book for so far, and I get a little check from Amazon every little once in a while, but I definitely haven't reached the accolades of the Amazon bestseller list. And obviously, what does that look like? How do you become that?
You become that. No, I didn't know when I started. I was just like, oh my gosh, I made Amazon bestseller. It wasn't even a focused effort because I didn't know enough to do that.
Right. By accident.
So it was really a blessing, really great. And since then, I've really researched it, how you can make that happen, how difficult is it, how likely is it, what actually needs to work with the algorithms. There's a lot behind it. But I've actually developed a pretty good process where now I can walk clients through that and teach them how to set that goal and achieve it, not by accident. Actually set the goal, and achieve it. Because once you're an Amazon bestseller, regardless of what happens with your book after that, you may never reach that high sales status again. You have that label of you were an Amazon bestseller. Your book has been on that list. And that's something that nobody can take away, no matter how many books you write, no matter if you never reach that status again. So it's a beautiful badge of honor. It's a great achievement. And I love when I get my clients to receive that and they see that badge on their file and they get to put it on their book. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I think it's like a validation that this is, that you're the real deal.
Yeah.
Like this is it.
Yeah.
And so I think it's interesting that you pointed out is that the timeline of when you became an Amazon bestseller compared to being coached through the process, I'm guessing is shorter. Being coached versus actually mistakenly becoming it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what I do is work with a client for 6 weeks. And I require them to have a support team. Because you just can't do it by yourself. There's no reason to set out to do it by yourself, because you can actually have success if you have a few people working with you. And then I teach them week by week, this is what you need to do. I give them all the templates, how to do it. I'm coaching them. And it's like a party on the day. And you're looking at the numbers. You're just at your computer looking. It's
like a writer's New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah.
Counting down, but you're counting up.
Exactly. And when that moment is there, it's just really the greatest feeling ever. I just love it.
Very cool.
I really love it.
So let me ask you, we have a listener or a watcher out there that's, thinking to themselves, gosh, I have a great story, or I've maybe overcome a challenge and I really want to share it with others. Because obviously we all learn from each other. I mean, we're the best teachers based on the experience that we have. What is that first step if someone's thinking about, hey, I should probably write a book? Or the latest thing I always hear is someone told me I should write a book. I always hear that.
I do.
What's that first step?
Call me.
Okay.
Just call me. I do a free consult. So you have my ear for 30 minutes. You can ask me as many questions as you can shove into that 30 minutes. And really during that time, I get to hear the person's heart. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Because you could have a good story, but if you just want to get it out there because you want to be an Amazon bestseller or, that's different than this is in my heart. Like this is a part of my purpose. I need to really get this out. Can you show me what to do? And so I can see that when I'm talking to somebody that this is really a passion and it's a part of who they are and they need to get it out. And sometimes I ask that. So this is a good question for your audience. Is there something that you feel you have to say to the world before you leave it?
Wow.
Yeah. Whether it's to children, to women, to everyone. And it can be an academic book even. If there's something in you that you really know you need to get out, get it out.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's I don't know if you felt that, it was a wave of emotion that just came over. And I think that, there's so many people out there that, have triumphed over an obstacle, right? And they think it's so simple, but they don't realize that the impact they really can make on the planet.
Yes.
But if they're the keeper of that information and they shut the box and they lock that box, it's never to be heard ever again. And it never will impact anybody.
No blessing in it.
And there's no blessing in it. I love that.
I saw that. I saw that on your face when I said that. I saw the emotion.
Yeah. And I think that, writing the book that I wrote, which was Life Kaleidoscope, it really was formatted just very briefly. My grandmother gave me a kaleidoscope and she told me, look in it. And I saw, it was so beautiful. If you ever seen all the different colors around it and stuff. And she's like, turn it again. It was something different, but it was as beautiful. And I said to her, oh my gosh, it's as beautiful as the first time. And she goes, you're going to make life decisions throughout your entire journey on this planet. But every decision is just viewing through that kaleidoscope. And so that was that story that I started with, right? And taking that first step by calling someone like you, probably would have started my 3-year process much quicker.
Yeah.
Right. So that first step really is trying to align yourself with like-minded people that understand and can coach you through kind of what those next steps are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so exciting. So tell me a little bit about like your first client. Like, what was your first client besides yourself that you helped?
Well, I actually helped my first client when they weren't really clients. I had volunteered
Oh,
to help somebody write.
guinea pigs, maybe,
Right.
as they call them.
And then word got out that I could write. So then someone else asked me to write. So I was doing some ghostwriting.
Okay.
Yeah, the first.
Love that.
Yeah, I did ghostwriting for a book that my then pastor was writing. He asked me to write a chapter, and I did, and I loved it. And I didn't need my name on it. It was just the fact that
Right.
I have a gift for writing, and I was able to share it. So that was awesome. And then that happened again. And I'm always the go-to person. My whole life, I've been the go-to person for writing and correcting.
Read this, please.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, because I correct everybody. I can't help it. I'm definitely a grammar nerd. I've always been. I'm the one that's looking at the news and there's typos on the screen, and I can't contain myself. I
You're
just,
like, I got to flip the
oh
channel.
my gosh, it drives me crazy. So everybody has always come to me to do their cover letters, their resumes, their papers for school, all of that. And I love it.
Okay.
I love it. So I was doing editing and correcting, proofreading in the background, but never really set out my shingle, so to speak.
Right.
And so, yeah, I decided to do that. And my very first client who I was editing and helping get ready for publish was one of my best friends. And she was writing a book, and she had entrusted somebody else with it. And then she came to me to look it over before she went to publishing. And I said, you cannot publish this. There were,
You were the save.
yeah.
Right. It's
And
like
yeah.
vulnerability, phone a friend, right? Always phone a friend
Right.
in the end.
There's a
just to make
lifeline.
sure. Yeah, there's a lifeline, right? And so you worked through that book,
Yeah,
and now
we
that's been
saved it.
published.
Oh, yeah. She
Okay.
published, I think it's been about 7 or 8 years now,
Okay.
a wonderful book about her experiences surviving sexual abuse as a child. And so it was so important,
What a huge,
so
powerful
meaningful.
message.
Yeah, so powerful. And this person that she paid to get her ready for publishing, the editing was horrible. It was horrible. So I do writing development classes too. And so she and I met every week for about 5 months, I think, every single week. And we did writing development, and we rewrote her book and really polished it up and made her story just so beautiful, so vulnerable, but so powerful. And it's called Mommy, I Need You.
Okay.
Yeah, by Dr. Regina Hall. But
I'm going on Amazon right away to order it, or to her website. So,
yeah.
so let me ask you, talking about making those mistakes, what is, like, give me 3 top things that people will do when they make a mistake that costs them time.
Oh, my favorite thing right here. Okay, I'll tell you, I know you didn't do this, and most people don't, but to think that you can self-publish a book without an editor.
Nope, I had
Huge.
one.
Of course.
Big deal.
Of course, but have you seen?
I've seen some books that
Yeah.
I know when I read them, I was like, oh, decided to kind of tweak the corner a little bit on costs and not use one. No,
Yeah.
I totally.
Yeah, yes, it's your largest expense probably, except for children's books. Our largest expense is the illustrations.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But do not
graphics.
skip the editing. So I'll give this like a 1-2 punch here, the same thing. Make this one step. Don't skip the editing, and do not skip self-editing. Before you go to an editor, you need to know how to self-edit. There's a lot of things that you can do before you come to an editor. And before I have a term that's called, are you editor ready? Are you ready for me as an editor?
Someone told me that you actually, when you write the book and it's formatted, put it aside.
Oh, yeah. I have people step away before they come to me.
Right. And then go back and actually read your book.
Yeah.
Right. Read it as the person that's going to be picking it up and breaking the binder and
Yeah.
opening up and literally starting from the cover. How do you feel? What's the emotion? Opening the book. How does the preface look?
Yeah.
And going through that just as if you were going to be the reader. That's
reader.
going to be. And I did that before I went to
That's
the
good.
editor. And I'm so thankful that someone had given me that advice.
Yeah.
So what's number 3?
Let's see. We did editing. We did self-editing. Actually, I would put this one before the editing, but
Okay.
the editing is my big platform, so I have
Sure.
to say that one. Know your audience. Do not, when I ask you, who's your audience, do not say everybody. Everybody is not your
We're
audience.
all different, all different experiences.
Know your audience and speak to your audience. And you should be speaking to your audience throughout the whole book. So that's really huge, because then you get into the meat of your message. You know, your message can be so powerful, but if you're speaking to the wrong person, they're not going to get it, or they're not going to feel it, or it's not going to mean anything to them. Know your audience, and your voice, your tone, everything about that book should be geared to your audience. And some people on the fringe, on the outside, are going to love it too. That's great. But focus your writing to your audience.
Right. That's awesome. So I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to put you on the spot. So I apologize. I always like juicy stuff.
Is it a spelling question?
No, it's not a spelling question. So any new upcoming projects that you can share with the listeners?
Yes.
And me.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's okay. And I told you the other day that actually when I heard you speak, you really added some fuel to my fire. My platform is purpose. I wrote a children's book called Why Am I Here? A child's book about purpose. And I wrote that because everybody, when we meet a little child, we ask them that question, what do you want to be when you grow up? We ask kids that all the time. And then they tell us, doctor, fireman, whatever it is. And we say, oh, that's great. You can be whatever you want to be. And then we go about our business. But we don't ask children, what do you feel in here? What do you feel you have to bring to the world? You know, what is your gift? What is your purpose? No one ever spoke to me about purpose. My mom did a great job raising me, but nobody ever talked to me about purpose. Like, what is it? What does it mean? How does it connect to me? And why is it important to have an outlook, you know, about purpose and where I fit in the world and what I'm supposed to do? So I wrote it in rhyme. I have a gift for writing in rhyme for children, which is a wonderful. I love it. I love that.
Amazing talent.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. So I took the heavy concept of purpose and I broke it down. And like I said, wrote it in rhyme and started. It's very whimsical, using your imagination in the beginning. And then I weave that message of you can be whatever you want to be, but there's more. You know, it's what's inside of you. You know, and I included, of course, diversity and inclusion. Like, this message is for every child. I wanted, my illustrations are very amazing and powerful. And I tried my best to have my illustrator depict children, just diverse children, where a child could look at that picture and say, hey, that looks like me, or that looks like my friend or my neighbor, you know. Connection. Exactly. So children can relate and they need that.
Well, it opens them up and allows them to absorb much faster.
Absolutely. And have empathy and acceptance of others. And that is all a part of purpose. So I said all that to say that when I heard you speak, you said a couple of things in sharing your story. And I was like, you know what? That needs to go in my book. I need to expand on that and from my experience. So this book is a book about purpose for us. And I've been doing some speaking engagements at the chamber. We did the Leadership Out Loud.
Oh, love that.
Yeah. And I spoke about using your purpose to move you forward in leadership. You know, how you can.
So critical.
Right. If you accept yourself and you know yourself and you know your story. I do this other talk called What's Your Story? We all need to know our story. And we need to acknowledge our story, even though we don't want to. Sometimes it's not always nicey nice.
The mirror's always there.
Right? Acknowledge it, embrace it. Acknowledge it, accept it, embrace it, and use it. And the final step is to share it. You may not want to share it in a book, but you need to share it somehow. And that part is up to you. And that's what leads you into purpose.
Naomi, I am so inspired. Like, I just absolutely, first time I ever met you, felt so connected to you. And I'm sure that a lot of people feel that with you. And so first off, I just want to tell you, thank you so much. Thank you for being such an incredible human, right? And coming from a place of contribution that you're wanting to help people. And thank you for today. Once again, just spending this time with you has been incredible for me personally. And obviously, if someone wants to, I know I have to share you. So if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
It's so easy. My name, Naomi, Naomi, naomibooks.com.
Awesome. And of course, they're going to see it on the screen, so it'll be super easy for them. Naomi, once again, thank you so much for today. You are an incredible human, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much, Annette. Thanks for having me.